Hi, I'm Venus O'Hara and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about dating and more specifically, how do you prepare for a hot date? I'm going to share some of my own personal tips and I would really love to invite you to share some of your own in the comment section below so that we can all learn from each other and hopefully have some very successful dating experiences. So for me, the first thing I do to prepare for a hot date is I pay attention to my personal hygiene. I make sure that I am because obviously we're thinking about the best case scenario when a hot date can end in sex. So that's the kind of thing that I'm preparing for if it goes very, very well. Also, it's always good to have high expectations because if it goes very well, then you don't want to be in a situation where you're not feeling the best. So anyway, for me, the personal hygiene is very, very important. So I make sure I am freshly showered. And also, I think it's important to take care of your bodily odours. I don't usually wear deodorant, for example, but if I'm going on a date, then I might wear this deodorant that's kind of like a stone. I mean, I don't really use it that often, but I do smell like a normal person normally because I don't use any deodorant for many years now. But I would pay more attention to my bodily odour if I'm going on a date. So I might wear some perfume as well, which I don't usually do normally. So yeah, that would be something I would take care of. And also I would take care of the foods I'm eating. If we're eating together, I would avoid things like coffee and onions and garlic because I think you want to have an inviting mouth if you're going to be kissing. So having some chewing gums as well, or some kind of something that's going to make your mouth more inviting. I think it's so important. I know a guy who's actually a love coach, and I cannot believe he's got the worst breath that I've ever encountered, and he's very giving all this advice to other people, but he's actually lacking in basic personal hygiene. And I think this is a real big issue because if you want to become intimate with someone, then that kind of thing is really, really important. It can be very, very off-putting if someone is not the cleanest person, if their clothes are not clean, or they have bodily odors that are not nice. I like pheromones, but it comes to a time when sweat can be stale and it's like, oh no. And especially with breath and just not paying attention to what they're eating. I know this guy in particular I'm thinking of just is a coffee addict. It's like coffee. And also things like tobacco. I think I personally would prefer to avoid smokers with my dating life. But if you are a smoker, I think it's important to think about, having a chewing gum after or water and just kind of keeping your mouth fresh and inviting. That's very, very, very important. I cannot highlight it enough. And then I would think it's very important, for me anyway, personal grooming. For example, I feel more comfortable if I've gotten rid of my underarm hair and my legs are smooth. I don't really do this religiously. I don't shave all the time at all, maybe once every 2 weeks or something like that. But if I was in a situation where it could end up in an intimate situation, I'd rather be relatively smooth, and I don't like to have that much pubic hair anyway. That's my personal preference. But everyone should do what they want, and they should be comfortable in their bodies, of course. But for me personally, that is something that I pay attention to. And also I would pay attention to my underwear, my lingerie. And sometimes it's not just about showing your lingerie to someone else. It's about, I think, having nice underwear, or the underwear that makes you feel comfortable, can make you a little bit more confident in your walk and the way you stand, and the way you just exude more kind of confidence, magnetism, sensuality and sexuality. That's my personal preference. It would be interesting to see what others think about that, but I do like to pay attention to that. And then we have, for me, something that I do, because something that I do when I am preparing for a hot date, I tidy my house, and because I'm a very messy person by nature. I'm improving a lot this year though. I've been improving a lot, but there have been times when I have refused to have sex in my house because of the mess. And some people are like, I don't care, but I care, I really care. And so if I'm having a hot date, I make sure my house is impeccable, even though we might end up at someone else's house, but I make sure that my house is just perfect and everything is clean and tidy, just in case it does end up that way. And happened to me recently actually. I had a date with a guy, and I cleaned up everything, and then about 2 hours before he cancelled, and I was like, damn, again. But then I thought, oh, I've got a clean house, so that's okay. It was still frustrating though. But I think, but now I'm trying to really pay attention to that, because I think it's very, very important. Also having clean sheets on your bed as well. Even just a couple of days old is okay, but not sheets that have been on for more than a week. Definitely not. I did read somewhere that the average of the sheets is like 3 weeks. It's just crazy. And also, you don't want to be having sheets that you've had sex with someone else in. I think that's really important to actually have clean sheets if you are thinking about having a hot date that can end with sex. Another really important point is condoms. Very, very, very important. I think it's important to have lots of condoms, maybe different brands as well, because I know that in my experience, men have their own preferences where as far as condoms are concerned, and not all condoms have the same comfortable fit. They all vary according to the girth, which is more important than the length in condom comfort and size, because size does matter as far as condoms are concerned. And I think it's important for any men, I would suggest, to actually get to know different brands, so you know which one you like the best, and also bring your condoms with you. But if someone hasn't got their own condoms, then I always have backup, because I use condoms with sex toys as well when I am testing sex toys, which is my main profession. And then I've got here written down exit plan. That's really important, I think. Well, because a hot date, it could be a first date, it can be a third date, whatever, but I think it's important, if you suddenly change your mind, to have an exit plan. That's very, very, very important. And also, last but not least, a little point about safety, which I don't think people think about enough, is to always tell a friend where you are. I think that's really, really important. I think sometimes we go on dates with people we've just met on the internet, and no one who's close to us knows where we are or who we're meeting. I think it's good to kind of maybe share that person's profile with one of your friends, and tell them where you're going, so that everything is okay. Because I mean, most dates are, the worst case scenario, they're kind of a bit uncomfortable, but just to be extra safe, it's good to tell someone where you are, and they can check on you. I remember the other day, I had a date recently, and one of my friends just sent me an "Are you okay?" and I was like, okay, yes, just to make sure. You don't want to be too on your phone too much during a date, of course. That would be another video maybe about dating etiquette, but I think it's important to think about safety. Yeah, so voila, those are my tips on my own preparations for a hot date. I would love to hear about yours, and so that we can all prepare for hot dates in a better way and have hotter dates. So please leave a comment below if you'd like to add anything to this list, and if you have any objections or support about these comments, it'd be really interesting to read them as well. And if you have any suggestions for new videos, don't hesitate to contact me at venus@venusohara.org, and I'll be back very soon with some more videos. Thanks for watching.